It's time. I think I put enough time in this game to properly make a tier list on what characters I think are good and what characters I don't think are good. I'm not the highest rank in the game, obviously, but I think I've seen enough of other opinions to mix along with my own opinion, put together a good list of or a good tier list for characters, and I'll do I'll probably do tanks, supports, DPS, and then I'll have them like all combined at the end. So for the tanks or vanguards, I'm gonna do a two-parter. Um, so for this first part, we're gonna say that you're running two tanks. So if you're running two tanks, Hulk is unfortunately not good in either category. Hulk is not someone you honestly probably the worst vanguard in the game right now. Um, I take a quick look through everyone. I just don't. There's really no reason you should ever be running Hulk. I'm assuming he's gonna get a buff or something soon because he is just atrocious. Um, Captain America, not that much better, but he definitely has more survivability. So if you can play him correctly, I think he's a pretty good character. Just playing him correctly is not the easiest task, and he doesn't have a lot of kill or can't really kill a lot of things, but he can't really die either. So kind of kind of in the same region as Hulk, but at least has more survivability. Doctor Strange, easily one of the best tanks in the game. I'm sure everyone knows this by now. One of the most powerful ults in the game. Um, has crazy damage output for a tank. TP plays are very good if you can coordinate them with a team. Um, Groot is an interesting one because Groot's ult is pretty good, but he's not super good on attack, but he is pretty good defensive wise. I would put him above Captain America. Honestly, if you're running two tanks, I would say he's maybe low A, high B, because you don't really, if you have two tanks, you should be running like Doctor Strange with Groot or something like that. A tank with more damage output, so Groot can just put up his walls and do his own thing there. I'm gonna say A for Groot if you're running two tanks. Who's next? I think Magneto. Yeah, I think Magneto. Well, Magneto is easily the best two tank. He's his shields. He's practically unkillable. He can save teammates. His ult feels a little shaky sometimes, but still a good ult. If you get him with Wanda, easily like by far the best tank in the game, has probably the best DPS output for a tank and pretty incredible, honestly. Um, Penny, Penny with double tank is really good. Penny double tank is really good. I would say Penny with two tanks is probably S tier. She's just like, actually, I don't know because she has the same problem as Groot. On attack, she's really not that good. On like, if you're ever at an attacking point where you have to attack them, where you have to engage them, Penny is almost, I don't want to say useless, but almost useless. So I think she's around the same tier as Groot. I think better than Groot though. Um, Thor. Thor is really good to tank. Thor is super good to tank. I would probably say it's hard to say because if you cannot run Thor by himself. Obviously, that's why I have two parts to this. But he can't be like the main tank either. So like you can't run Hulk and Thor. They're both just gonna get shredded. You can't run Cap and Thor. They're both just gonna get shredded. You need someone that can like face you can face tank for them for Thor. So like Groot and Thor is really good. Doctor Strange and Thor, Magneto and Thor. But like if you have like two dive tanks, like if Venom and Thor, theoretically it could work if your team played all around it, but what's the odds your team is going to play around something like that? Not very likely. It can work. It very well can work, but Thor is a lot better when someone else can face tank for him and he can just get in their backline and go crazy. So I would say he's A with the right tank. And then Venom. Venom, it's hard. I don't want to put him in the same tier as Cap because he's better than Cap, but there's just not a lot of instances where Venom is like super good. Like I don't know, he's the exact opposite of Groot and Penny. Like on defense, he's almost useless. On attack, he can be pretty good. On but like I would rather have one of these two on defense. I'd rather have a Venom on attack. That's the reason why I'm thinking next to Cap here. His ult, it's not super amazing. His survivability is obviously crazy. That's kind of like his main thing. His damage output can be good at times, but I don't know. I really don't think he's as good as a... He's definitely good with another tank with him, but again, it depends on who it is, and there's just a lot of factors that go into it, and I would just rather have these two on defense. I would have a Venom on attack. Alright, now for part 2 for tanks. We're gonna say these are solo tanks. If you are by yourself and you are on tank, and you're the only tank on the team, this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna switch Doctor Strange with Magneto. If Magneto has Wanda, has Scarlet Witch, I would put Magneto in front of Doctor Strange, but I think Doctor Strange is the better solo tank. I think his damage output is better, his survivability is better. Another easy one, Hulk, trash. Captain America, pretty trash. Venom, I'm not gonna say trash, but really not that good. You can make it work, but really not that good. Penny, I'm gonna keep an A. Thor, I'm gonna knock down to C. Groot is like, Groot is really confusing. Groot, because if he's solo tank on defense, obviously you can really make that work very well. But you get him solo tank on attack, it's not gonna work out as well. So I think B is a pretty good spot for him. Penny being, I mean, these two are just the best tanks in the game. I think that's pretty clear at this point. I think Penny is just a very solid tank that just can work with either 2 or 1. Like she can work by herself. She's not going to be as good on attack, but she's definitely better on attack than Groot is. And then these 4 down here, you almost have to have another tank to run any of these 4, like whatsoever. These guys are not going to get anything done by themselves, unfortunately. You're probably going to lose the game if you're solo tanking with these guys. Like, you might, like, if you're at a point in a game and these are your only tanks on the team, like, you might have to switch tank. Like, it's really bad with these 4 being solo tanks. Alright, let's move on to support. Let's just get the easy one out the way. Mantis, S tier. Super, super good. The damage boost is insane. She's pretty much another DPS, just a better DPS, and makes your DPS stronger, makes your tank stronger. Her healing wise, she's not really super good. Her ult makes up for that easily. I think another easy S tier is Luna. Both of these characters have protection for themselves with the freeze and the sleep. Luna is kind of the complete opposite of Mantis. She's like the best healer in the game. Like the healing numbers you can put up on her are crazy. I think Luna has the best ultimate in the game right now, or one of the best at least. These two are very clearly kind of above the rest, in my opinion. Adam, let's do Jeff next. Jeff, I gotta put him B purely because his ult, he can like, I would, if his ult wasn't as good, I would say C or D, but I'm gonna put B because of his ult. He can literally turn the tides of an entire game with his ult. That is pretty crazy. I like, it's super powerful ult. Unfortunately, it's like a meme ult, which is pretty dumb, but his healing output really isn't that good. His survivability is obviously pretty crazy, but I really wouldn't say as a support, like, he needs another support. Like, you can't solo support on him. He has to have another support. His healing output is just not good enough. I want to say Adam because Adam's a tricky one. I think Loki is sneaky good. I personally feel like Loki is sneaky good. Loki's DPS is surprisingly underrated. If you use his clones in the correct locations, Loki is really, really, really good. Obviously, I get in the higher tier of play, his clones are probably getting deleted pretty easily, but I mean, I think if you put his clones in the correct positions, I think he's easily one of the best supports. He can, his damage output is pretty much tripled if both of his clones are alive. His healing output is tripled if all of his clones are alive. His ultimate is pretty much using any ultimate in the game that's available, so that's obviously really good. Has a survivability ability. What else? What's his other? Oh, and then he pretty much has like BAP Immor, and the BAP Immor can go to his clones, which is pretty crazy. I think Loki is. I've seen Loki down here BC on some tier lists. Like, I think Loki is sneakily pretty good. Who else? Oh, Rocket. Rocket's poop. Okay, not that poop, but Rocket's really bad. The only thing Rocket has going for him is his ult, which is not as strong as any of these people's ult, except for maybe Loki's. His healing output is pretty garbage, I'm not gonna lie. His damage output is equally as garbage. The only thing he really has going for him is his pretty alright ultimate and his res. Now, his res can be really good in certain situations, but I would just rather have literally any of these people over that having the res. Cloak and Dagger, I think they're pretty weak as well. Honestly, if I'll be honest with you, I haven't used Cloak and Dagger, but every time I see them on my team, I'm not really happy. Anytime I see them on their team, I'm thinking free eats. Like, I really think Cloak and Dagger, there's a reason why I haven't used them. I think they are incredibly weak. I don't think their healing output really isn't good. Their damage output really isn't good. Their abilities are super, super niche and super situational. I just don't. I think they're the worst support in the game. I'd rather have a Rocket Res, Rocket All, rather than this. Their all is really not that good. Probably the worst support all, honestly. I think Cloak and Dagger are pretty poopy. And Adam Warlock. I think I have Adam and Loki around the same area. I would put. Ooh. Adam better than Loki? I think. I'm trying to think. I think Adam's better than Loki. Clearly, he got the res for himself. He has the res. He has the res for the full team as his all. His healing output can be a little shoddy at times, but if you know how to use Adam, you know when to use his heals, he's gonna be really good. Pair him with like Mantis. Him and Mantis being like Mantis getting the res off him is pretty crazy. Like, him and Mantis might be the best duo support in the game. If I had to say, if you're running solo support, I would highly recommend you go Luna. Luna is the healing numbers you can put on her. Like, I was playing with my friends earlier, and we only played 2 rounds at 28,000 healing in 2 rounds. Imagine we played that last round. I could have had 40,000 heal. Like Luna's healing output is insane, and she can like her damage output really isn't bad either, and she has her freeze, which like she get jumps by it. If you jump her and you get frozen, you're dead. Pretty simple. But I wouldn't say these two are the best duo. I would say probably these two work better together, but well, I think I like the look of this. I think I like the look of this. All right, on to DPS. I've been trying to mix up all the DPS playing around. This is mostly off me just watching clips or watching whatever, but I have tried to play as many of DPS as I could. The only people I really haven't played are Wolverine. I'm gonna put there because obvious reasons. Squirrel Girl and Namor, but I've seen and heard good things about Namor, so Wolverine, easily worst DPS in the game. Just the damage output isn't worth it. The survivability is obviously there, but it's not crazy. Like he's literally like Hulk, but he's a DPS. Like they might as well just make Wolverine a tank and just like I don't know. I don't even know what you do with Wolverine. Like you can't really do much with him. He's just give him more health, give him more regen per hit. Like I don't know what you do with him, but he is just awful. Black Panther. Black Panther I'm gonna put A. Black Panther is someone that's really, really, really hard to use. But if you can master him, like there's like the potential is very high, a very high ceiling for Black Panther. I just like the only things that are really holding him back from S is is that your team doesn't really play around your plays and his ultimate. His ultimate is really not that good, and if your team isn't playing around what you're doing in their backline, it's not going to be a fun time for you. Like if your team, like if Black Panther isn't working, like he's down here. It's like you almost have zero impact. You just do a couple chip damage on a couple people and you die, and it's just like you have no impact. But if you can master him and play him well, I would say low A, high B. I'm gonna put him A though. Black Widow, another. I wouldn't say she's as useless as Wolverine though. She at least can get damage done. Probably the worst ultimate in the game. Um, there's not really much to say. Like, she's a sniper in a game where like Hawkeye and Hela exist. Like, she's just not that good, unfortunately. I don't really know what you can do with her to make her better. I would probably change her alt somehow, but yeah, as of right now, she's just not that good. Hawkeye, easily S. You know where he's going. Hela, easily S. I prefer Hela. I've seen some pretty cracked Hawkeyes, but I prefer Hela. I mean, it's just hit scan is the meta. Hit scan is easily the meta right now. Just I don't know. These two just the damage output on them is crazy. You hit headshots, they're just gonna die. They just get deleted. Hela has movement like crazy, like her movements like she's unkillable in her movement. Hawkeye does have a little movement, but there has been an instance where I would rather be there's been instances for both where I'd rather be one over the other, but like you get the point. They're the best in the game. Iron Fist. Iron Fist's potential is B. That's kind of that's gonna be my takeaway for him here. His potential, I get a lot if we're playing this off potential. I think everybody could be higher, but like Iron Fist is definitely an interesting character. A lot of people think he's OP. Obviously, it's not true once you get in the higher ranks, but I think there is instances, I would say high C, low B. I think there are instances where he can work. You can make him work. He's just not like you when you start playing against those Lunas and those Mantises that just freeze you, put you to sleep. You're cooked. You're done. If they don't have someone that can just like CC the crap out of you, he has the potential to do good things. Iron Man, this is gonna be a little bias here, but I'm gonna put him B. I don't know. I get hit skin's the meta, so it's obviously gonna fuck. Iron Man is gonna be tortured. All the Iron mans are gonna be tortured. I've found success on him no matter what. Personally, I have found success on him no matter what or who I'm playing. I think that's just my playstyle, how I play him. I think I play him very correct. And I just think if you can play Iron Man at a high level, you can easily make him work. It's just the only problems really on him are his damage output in like a 1v1 situation. It's not going to be as good as other people. Like he's hitting people like Scarlet Witch with his right click. His left click, if you use it correctly, they're not going to be able to push in a lot on full health. If you're using him correctly, they're never going to be full health. But again, hitscan's the meta. He's just going to get, if you get caught in an open area, you're just going to get torched. People are going to say, hey, look at Iron Man, just torch him out of the air pretty easily. And this is pretty biased. I'm huge on Iron Man, so this is a biased pick for me. Realistically, he should probably be down here, but I can't do it to myself. Magic. Magic's probably gonna be top of B. Her damage output is pretty good. Her survivability can be a little shoddy at times, but you can, if you get a good magic and you can make magic work, it's gonna work very well. The supports on their team are gonna be pissed. The DPS in their team are gonna be pissed. Like she's really hard to kill sometimes, but then other times it feels like she's super easy to kill. Like she pops all. Whenever I see a magic pop all, she just gets torched instantly. Everybody just looks at her and torches her down. I don't. She, again, just hits against the meta. Like melee is just not the meta. She's one of the better melee characters, but I don't know, it's not as good. Moon Knight, ooh, Moon Knight's probably another B character. His, really, like, I don't even want to see Moon Knight like higher level might be C. I will put him B though. Like, if you like, you shoot his arcs, he's pretty much useless. His damage output other than his arcs is really, really bad. His abilities other than his arc really aren't that good either. His ult, he builds ult very quickly. His ult is really not that bad. It can melt someone instantly. You put it in the right spot. I've seen a Moon Knight ult twice in 20 seconds. Like, no joke. His ultimate can be very strong to get and very strong to use. So that alone, I'm gonna kind of just put him in B. Namor, I'm gonna put A. I get he's projectile, but his turret's super good. Hitting someone and then his turret's getting upgraded, super good. His ultimate, again, his ultimate is pretty much the same as Moon Knight's. It can be super good used in the right situations. I think his ultimate has a wider range than Moon Knight's, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I haven't used Namor, but this is kind of based off of other tier lists. I've seen other people talking about him. I would say Namor is pretty good. Yeah, that's really all I can't really say much other than put him there since I really haven't used him. Now, Psylocke, personally, to me, Psylocke is the best close range character in the game. I'm a Psylocke main myself. I've quite literally carried games single-handedly with Psylocke going against these two characters, going against any DPS in the game, any tank, any support in the game. I've carried, like, hard carried with Psylocke. Psylocke is a very good hard carry character if you learn how to use her and use her correctly, use her ult correctly. I would say the biggest counters to Psylocke are probably, like, Mantis, Luna, like getting frozen, getting slept, Luna ult, Mantis ult. But if you know what you're doing on Psylocke, you can easily hard carry games. I'm not gonna put her above these two because these two are just obviously the strong meta right now. But I think Psylocke is super, super strong. Punisher. Punisher, I'm gonna put A. His turret is very niche, but dude, that thing's hard to kill. Like a Punisher on either side just works very well. I'm gonna put him above name. I'm gonna put him top A. Honestly, he has the close range shotgun. He has the turret. His ult's pretty cracked. Like he has escapability. Like he has almost the full kit. He's just and obviously he's hit scan. Like it's just super strong right now. I don't think it's kind of weird though. Like I don't think he's even close to these two, but I feel like he's pretty strong. Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch. I've seen a lot of Scarlet Witch down here. I don't think she's that bad. I think Scarlet Witch. I think Scarlet Witch is about here. I think her obviously once you get to the higher ranks that the Moira suck is obviously not as good. You want people that can one shot. You want people that can two shot. But I'm kind of I want to include like all the ranks, and I would say in all the ranks put together, Scarlet Witch is pretty strong. For like the lower ranks, she torches people. Lower mid ranks, I think she gets shit done. Very good escapability, obviously. Her ult, if used correctly, very strong. But obviously, once you get to those higher ranks, the people that can one shot you, two shot you, it's just gets to no competition there. Spider Man. Spider Man, Spider Man, Spider Man. I'm gonna say top of B for Spider Man. That feels the most correct to me. It's just he can really get stuff done. He can really get stuff done, but again, once you start playing the good Lunas, the good Mantises, the people who are just gonna torch you, like his whole thing is based on hitting you with one of his right clicks, attaching onto you, and then hitting his combo. If you're on any character that has any sort of escapability, Spider-Man just dies. He just dies. Or has like some type of melee cooldown, he just dies. It's like everyone sees you swing in, everybody sees you attach onto the person. Like obviously, if you're a good enough Spider-Man, you're gonna find the opportunities where people aren't gonna be looking at you, and that's where you can get stuff done. But there's not gonna be a lot of opportunities like that, unfortunately. Squirrel Girl. Uh, I'll, I'll put her above Iron Fist, I guess. Her ult might be the worst ult in the game. Um, the damage output can definitely be there. Just the randomness of Squirrel Girl can make things shake in the game, I guess. But I don't really know. She just isn't super strong unless you're just spamming at a choke all game or something like that. Like if you jump her with anybody, she's probably gonna die. I don't know. She's just super niche. I I'm gonna put her below Iron Fist. Like she's just, I don't know. She's not that good. Star Lord. Star Lord's an interesting one. Um, he's above Namor. I think I'm gonna put him there. Star Lord is literally like empty a clip on someone, flip, empty a clip on him, flip, empty a clip on him. Like that's gonna kill anybody in the game. That's gonna kill a tank. Like he has one of the best ults in the game. His movement's pretty crazy. I think Star Lord is super strong. I haven't, to be fair though, I have not seen high level gameplay of him whatsoever. So I could be completely mistaken on this one. But to me personally, from what I've used, from what I've seen, like even like people who just picked up the game do good with him. Like he's like Star-Lord is pretty good. You use his flips right. You know when to reload. I think Star-Lord's pretty strong. Storm, dude, unfortunately Storm kind of sucks. Like I hate to say it, but Storm kind of sucks. Her damage output is really bad. It's almost just not even worth it. She can fly around like Iron Man, but just not do as much damage whatsoever. And obviously, with Hitscan being meta, she's just gonna get torched out of the sky most of the time. I just don't think Storm is good whatsoever. Her ult, I will say her ult is pretty good, but literally, other than that, I just don't think Storm is good whatsoever. Now for Bucky himself, Winter Soldier. I'm thinking top A or S for Winter. Like one of the strongest ults in the game, one of the best like ults to get clips with. Obviously, fucking again, but just I think I'm gonna stick him in A purely because I could be mistaken with this, but he feels projectile. Like his shots feel so projectile to me. I could be wrong. Shoot me if I'm wrong, but like I've only used him one game. I went pretty crazy with him the one game, but his hook is crazy. You can hook anyone. His E is great. Like all of his abilities are really good. His ult is really good. If you hit headshots with his gun, they get deleted. But I wouldn't say he's on these guys' level. I think he's strong. I think he's above all four of these guys, but I wouldn't say he's on these three level either though. I think currently this is a pretty good list though. Obviously could be wrong about some stuff. I'm not gonna say this is the perfect list, but I think this list is pretty good. I think this list pretty much shows what the state of the game is in right now. But yeah, let's get to the full look of everything. All right, so this is the full look of everything. I think, in my opinion, if some of the things don't match up with the previous list earlier in the video, I think I kind of made some changes, but I think mostly everyone is around the same area. I think Hela's the strongest character in the game. I don't think it's pretty close to Magneto. Magneto's pretty strong too, and Mantis. I think these three are like the strongest in the game. Like these three are gonna be on almost every like top tier team. And then I think like literally this top S tier right here might be like a perfect team. I would probably substitute Luna with Warlock, but I think this would almost be a perfect team up here. And then wait, is that 7? Oh wait, that's 7. Probably get rid of just substitute Hawkeye or Psylocke out or whatever the team needs, but I think up here is literally almost a perfect team, or if you just want to run one tank. But yeah, I think this is overall what the game is looking like right now. Obviously, just worst character in the game. I would say like D is probably like, if I had to say it, D would probably is just Wolverine. C is like they can be usable. The right person has to be, but like the right person has to be using them. Has to be in the right situation. Like so much has to be in the correct places for C to be viable. B is kind of like viable, but it depends on what your team comp is, and it depends on what their team comp is. It can work, but also can just easily get destroyed. A is pretty much just usable in almost any situation and can be good in almost any situation. And then S is just, it's gonna probably work no matter what. If you have the right person on them, it's gonna work no matter what. I wouldn't just look at this tier list either and say, oh, Hela's the best character in the game, I'm gonna use Hela. if you're not good on Hela, if you use Hela and you're just not good on her, either practice with her a lot or just choose someone else. Like, I hate when people pick a character purely based off of what other people say about the character. Play who you're good at. If you are good at Wolverine and you somehow make that shit work, play Wolverine. Don't play Hela and be bad at Hela. Just play the character who you are good at. Like one of the in the Psylocke video I just posted, someone wanted to play Psylocke over me, and I went 17-0. Like, and then he ended up like 5-6 on Magic. Like, play who you're good at. I'm not gonna get off Psylocke for you because I know I'm gonna play it better than you, and I know like I'm better than you. Play who you're good at. Play the characters you want to play. If you're if you if you're playing like DPS and you're not playing good on DPS, switch to another role. Let someone else pick up the role. If you're just not playing, if you're not having a good game, just switch it up. It's not working. It's okay that it's not working, but please let someone else play the role, probably better than you, and then figure out what's going wrong. Play a new character, figure out what's going wrong, fix it, just be better. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is overall a tier list you can probably rely on for most instances throughout most ranks. But yeah, play who you're good on, play who's fun, play just what works for you.